Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am Eustace Farmer, and I hope you are doing very well today, as I am doing fantastic. I'd like to take this opportunity to give you a very warm welcome. Home sweet Homer. I had to do it. I know it's corny, but I had to do it. Okay, so in today's episode, I would like to primarily focus more on a demonstration and a bit of a comparison to the Holmer DLC pack versus some of the equipment for sugar beet harvesting that we have been using all along in the game. I'd like to highlight some of the key functions that maybe some of you might be scratching your head about, such as on the Pterodos, the crab left, crab right, rigid steering, and flexible steering modes, how to access them through your farming simulator edition of the SATEC steering wheel and control deck, and also how to do it on the keyboard. The keyboard is much easier, and I will get into that. So also I'm going to go ahead and jump into the store because I would like to show you where you can pick these items up. So there's two ways to do it. One is a bit more easier than the other in my opinion. So let's go ahead and press P on our keyboard and go into the store. Now, right off the bat, I know some of the DLC stuff you'll find in the mod category, but in this one, you're going to find in the regular section of the store. So, obviously, the first thing we would go into is the sugar beet harvesting. So, there's the Pterodos, and there's the header, 4.5 meters wide. That's a significant jump. The traditional harvester is a 3-meter header, so there's a difference of about 3.28 feet, a little over 3 feet. Doesn't sound like a lot, makes a huge difference when you're out there in a massive field. So this is where you're going to pick up that item, the header, and the combine, the harvester, and back out of here. Now, if you want the trailer to transport it, you're going to go into trailers, and here it is over here. Okay, so let's talk about slurry. So here is the slurry tank attachment and the cultivating attachment that goes on the back of the slurry tanker. So we'll be getting into more of that. And then the manure spreader attachment module is in manure spreaders, obviously. It's got a very nice capacity of 19,700. I think it's probably comparable to, well, this is 32,000. So 19,000, but having the versatility, I'm still on board. Okay, so let's see. In tractors, you will find, excuse me while I click through here. There it is. The Terra Variant 600 Eco. 598 horsepower. Not too bad. And this is that is considered a tractor because it has more versatility than just the pack, modules themselves. You can tow other trailers, plows and cultivators, all sorts of things. The only thing it doesn't do is it doesn't have a front loading capability. And that's fine because this is awfully big to be using as a front loader, big and bulky. Let's see. So to get the other modules, you go into augers because these are not tippers. They are augers. So anybody new to the game, the difference between the two is that you can obviously you offload from the harvester into the auger, and the auger will drive off field and transfer the load into an awaiting truck or lorry, as they say here in beautiful England, or into a tractor with a trailer. And that tractor will go ahead and drive down to the tipping point, and the truck with the auger will go back on the field, and they'll just keep a nice continuous cycle going. So that's kind of some of the logic behind using auger. So the grain, sugar beet auger in augers. Okay, so let's see. We did augers, we did manure spreaders, and the slurry. So I think the next thing to show you is that, which I find is a little more convenient, you can get it under brands. Right there in the top, here's Holmer. So here is the variant. Here's the GB25 grain tank, the RB 35 sugar beet tank, the Pterodos T40, and the HR9 header, and the header trailer. All of those, all within here. The only thing you'll have to buy separately is go back into manure and slurry categories and get those attachments in there. That for some reason they didn't put them in the pack. So, in that little lineup under brands. So that's how you go ahead and find all the stuff without having to jump around in the store too much. Okay, so here's the Terra variant, 600 Eco. And this one has a Bergman manure spreader module on the back of it. And then we have the Holmer and Holmer Exact slurry tank with the cultivating attachment. Oops, excuse me. Tripped backwards into the bushes there. And then the Holmer grain module. So this is how they look. You just back right underneath them. All these modules are the same way. They stand up on legs, keep them off the ground. You just back right underneath them and click them on, or do your manual attach if you have the manual attach mod. So that's that. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you some differences between harvesting with this particular unit versus using the Grimm or Grimmy or Grimme, however you pronounce it, Maxtron, and then the little rooster. And what I'm doing with the rooster is basically what I'm trying to show you is cutting the headland when you first go into the field. Which method or combination of methods would work better? So we're going to find out. I personally think to go around the headland with the rooster first might work out better, because in a test run I did have a bit of a difficult time with the Pterodos, because, well, one thing is it doesn't have that single axis turn on a dime feature that the Maxitron sugar beet harvester does. That Maxitron has that little wheel in the back, and basically double wheels in the back, and you can basically turn this in place, whereas the Pterodos you cannot. It does go around tight turns because it has flexible steering, but it doesn't have the same 360-degree in-place maneuverability. So that's something to be considered when you're working in these tight English fields, especially the small ones. I personally think that this machine is better suited for very large fields with generous headlands where you have plenty of room to go up and down and turn around at the end. So, like I said, personally that's my opinion, but I'm going to show you and let you make up your own mind. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump in and get her started. Now, this particular unit, it was reported that there's a little bit of a bug coming out of crab steering, going back into flexible or rigid steering or whatever other mode. It does get stuck. So I find that you have to give it some good generous wiggling around to get it to release at times. It's intermittent. One session I had it happen almost every time I switched modes. Another session it happened once, and in another session it didn't happen at all. So this is definitely something I'm sure the Giants is aware of, and they'll be coming out with a patch for. It is in no way any deterrent not to purchase the pack, because overall, aside from that little Picayune glitch, I think you're going to be very happy with this. Another little thing I will say is that the header trailer, they still don't put out a header trailer with a locking script. So you have to really be rather precise when lining the header up on the header trailer. So once it's on there, even though it doesn't lock, it stays on there pretty good as long as you're not driving, like a ridiculous maniac. It stays on there pretty good. But there is that chance of losing it. So, and it does slide around a little bit when you're going on, kind of angled terrain, tight turns. Something else to be considered. I'm sure that, the modders will be, coming out with a locking script trailer for this. Not before long, I would hope. Can't say for sure. Okay, so let's go ahead, take off my parking brake. We'll mosey on up to the field here, and I'm going to show you just before we go in, the different steering modes. Now, one thing I will say, I have, maybe it's because I have the steering wheel plugged in, I don't know. But when I use the steering modes, when I access them through, when I access them through the keyboard, nothing comes up on screen to tell you what steering mode you're in. So I find that a little inconvenient. However, all you have to really do is look at the wheels. So let's see. So right now, if you jiggle the cab, say we're in flexible mode, the cab moves from left to right, separate from the trailer. So let's hit Y on the keyboard. Now we're in rigid steering mode because the cab does not move. The wheels still turn, but the cab doesn't move. Did you see the wheels on the back turn to the left out here? That's crab mode left. And that is crab mode right, because now the wheels are pointing out to the right. So that's a quick and easy way you can tell, you know, what mode you're in. Now let's go back and see. Okay, that should be, see, now it came right out and it's in flexible steering. Of course, because I'm recording, you can't catch the glitch. But we have plenty of time for that. Okay, so good that we're in flexible for now. Let me switch over to the header here, and we will unfold the header. Button 5 on the control deck. Okay. Switch back to the harvester. We're going to unfold the harvester, which is again button 5 on the control deck. And then, once we turn the harvester on, I'm going to switch back over the header so we can pick it up in button 4 there. So we can pick it up. There we go. A little bit of a delay when the header coming up. Oh, this gate is giving me a challenge. I have a feeling I'm going to scrape the paint on our new Pterodos. Nope, we're doing all right. That flexible steering really came in handy right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our header down, and we'll start. So at this point, it's kind of nice if you get a little bit of a way in there and then go to crab mode left. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do it on the steering wheel, and I'm going to push both of the joysticks down on the SATEC steering wheel at the same time, as soon as I have the harvester selected. And you'll see that now the little menu comes up. It only happens on the steering wheel. So, and it says buttons 5, 6, 2, which is not correct. It's on the directional pad on the right side of the steering wheel. It's button 2 to cycle through. So it's in flexible. Rigid steering now, you see. Crab steering left, crab steering right. So we're going to go to crab steering left. And now what you're going to see when I zoom out is the trailer swings to the left and stays there. Now, don't let your eyes play tricks on you. Pay attention to the cab. Let the trailer do its own thing. And what this does is it allows you to take advantage of the full width of the header, so you can make the maximum use of your headland pass here without damaging the crop. Now, I will say, for those of you that don't play terribly realistic, I do have crop destruction on, but this unit does not damage the crops when you drive over the sugar beets. So, a little tip there, if you don't care about running into the crops. I personally do not like driving in the fields. So, and also I just the geek side of me thinks it's really cool to use all the features that the unit is has available. So as you see, going along here, on a straight line up and down, this unit is great. I think where you're going to run into, especially like I said in these tight hedgerow fields, is making the turn to continue going up that way on your headland. So now what I would do is go into flexible steering, and let's hope and pray that it comes out of crab mode. Let's see, is it going? Yep, it did. Okay. Well darn, you guys are good luck charms. Or didn't it? Let's see. Let's go ahead and lift up my header. As soon as I have it back over there. There we go. There it goes. Do you see it jitter? It just acknowledged it. So it takes a little playing around. So I'm sure Giants will work on that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shear off the corner. Maybe 1 or 2 passes. And see, we're still not damaging our sugar beets, but we're getting enough area to make the turn. So it's not an impossible task. It just takes a little bit more effort, which is fine by me. Okay, so now we can go back into sometimes when you do it on the steering wheel, it switches you to in-cab mode. Because you have to, like I said, the 2 thumbs on the joysticks and then your index finger pressing at the same time. It can get a little technically funky. Okay, so here we are, crab mode left again. And we go down this way. So there you go. That's how you'd make your headland using the Pterados T440. So let's go ahead and lift up the header. And I'm going to pause the video while I go bring our next contestant in. Okay, so here we are. We've got our Maxitron sugar beet harvester. So I've already unfolded it. So let's go ahead and get her into place. We're going to go up this side. Hopefully not damaging our hedge, because the farmer will get very mad at me, and then he will not want to invite me back for the next sugar beet harvest. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn on our harvester. There we go. So I think the true test is going to be when we get to go around the curve here. Because as you see, without the crab mode, you see how the track is kind of riding on the sugar beets because it's just a little bit wider than the header on the Maxitron. So that's a good reason for the crab mode. So Holmer really, that's a great innovation. And I've seen that in real life, and that is something spectacular. See, now going around this corner, I'm damaging those sugar beets. So like I said, if you don't play realistically, to the nth degree, then that may not bother you, but it kind of bugs me. So also, this is going to take a little bit more time, because you're going to have to make a second pass. You're always going to have to make one extra pass than you would make with the Holmer, because the header is 3 feet more short. So far I will say that the Holmer is a bit of a time saver. And this on a dime axis steering isn't quite as advantageous as I had thought, because although it turns on a dime, we're damaging a great deal more crop, because you figure even if you're riding on the edge just a little bit, when you're going down an entire row, that's a lot of sugar beets that you're damaging. So okay, so I don't want to eat up all of our headland here, because I want to save room for the rooster. We have to go through due process. I know everybody's laughing like, oh my gosh, not the rooster. Well, it has its applications, I think. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and grab the old rooster, and I'll be right back at you in a second. Okay, here we are. One thing I did discover is that I don't think sugar beets at all are subject to crop destruction with the drive control mod, because I ran through it with the tractor just to see, and it didn't do anything to the sugar beets. So, happy news to you for some. So, overall, now you see I got all-wheel drive diff lock on because this little tractor, you know, it's kind of struggling, and without it on, it wouldn't pull this up the hill at all. So, and I love this Massey Ferguson, so all-wheel drive for me. So as you see, this makes, you know, pretty good go of it. But as you're coming around a corner, as you see, you're going into the sugar beets. So it doesn't do quite as an efficient job. And then what you'd have to do, you know, like we did with the Maxitron, I mean, the Pterodos, is, you know, back up to shear off the corner. It's going to be a little bit more tricky with this unit because you've got the trailer behind you. So there's a little bit more fiddle-faddling going on to get it to do what you want. And then, you know, in essence, as you see, you're still running over the crops with the trailer because it doesn't have crab mode. Hey, that's right. I bet you knew the answer. So there we have it. So is it in my opinion, it's kind of ridiculous to buy 2 extra pieces of equipment just to make the headland when it really doesn't even do as an efficient job. So I am a little surprised that the Maxitron didn't perform, as far as maneuverability, better than the Pterodos. So in my opinion, the Holmer wins. So I would like to know your opinion if you want to put it down in the comments section. But like I said, what an awesome DLC. You know, and of course, as usual with Giants, the textures and the realism, just incredible. They did an absolutely beautiful job. I am sure the Holmer Corporation is very, very pleased and very proud to have their equipment portrayed in the game. Giants did them, you know, platinum justice. So there we go. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and get ready for the next portion of our demonstration, which will be offloading the sugar beets from the variant, from the Pterodos into the variant. So back at you again in another split second. Okay, here we are, back with the Terra. So I just wanted to see if I could pull up this way if it would offload, you know, conveyor side. And no, so let me spin it around a little bit. I wouldn't think you'd have to unfold this unit because we're not offloading, we're receiving. So let's see. Okay. Well, let me unfold it and see. Maybe I have to get back in the harvester, but let me just... Yeah, you know why? Because it's got that little catch on the side. Yep. Okay. Awesome. So now we know. Okay. So that's offloading the harvester to the Terra. And now, let's just say we're coming in off the field as the harvester is busy at work. We're going to run over here to our Stewart trailer with our little Bullet Bill modified New Holland. beautiful pack. Okay. And pipe out button 10 again. I think I'm a little too far away, but we'll see. I also may not have the proper sides on the Stewart. There we go. Had it on silage body. There we have it. And then the Terra would go off on its way. Okay. So there's the offloading. Let me put this over to the side. Alrighty. So the first thing you'll notice about the header, for those that are, like I said, new, there's an open side and then there's the guarded side with the two locking bars, stabilizing bars. So obviously you're going to be wanting to be on the open side. Would help if I could speak today. And then we're going to fold up the harvester header. So we're going to select the header. There we go. And then fold the header, button 5. And we're going to adjust because you're going to want to pretty much come at it square on. Looks pretty good. Nice and easy. You don't want to shove it all over the place. There we go. And then release. And it's on. And now you can tow this along on the back of the Terra, or you can use one of the Terra variants to tow it, or you can use a tractor, whichever you like to do best. I'll show you how it hooks up on here. I like to hook it up to here. Ooh, I've got a little laggy jitter there. I don't know what that was all about. Sorry about that, folks. So there you go. And let me put my pipe in, and he would go along his way. Now, I will say that this has, you know, like the other header trailers, it has that extra turning axis in it, that swivel effect that makes them virtually impossible to back up. So I do use the trailer assist. I'll turn it on for that, and I put it in the, I'll show you, it's Control T, and I put it in rotation. That'll lock it from rotating, you know, out of control. It still gets a little tricky, but it's a lot better to back up and maneuver. You just have to really clamp on the steering wheel to turn it because you're locking the rotation. So, okay. So I usually, you know, tow it along like this, and I will drive this, and then I have the Terra variant on the Follow Me mod following behind, because I think there's a lot less chance of him getting jammed up on something than this. Okay, so next up on the list, we're going to fill these up in a minute, but I'll show you just quickly how it works to attach and detach. And we might as well do it to the grain auger, and we'll take it out there and fill it up with some grain. So there we go, and the legs come up. And take off our parking brake. And as I've said in all my videos, I'm really not very good at driving outside of the cab. I usually drive inside, you know, except when doing some, you know, reversing, because the mirrors are lousy. But so I apologize if I'm not doing a very good job with the backing up. Okay, so the harvester out there is full. And like I said before, this also has the rigid and flexible steering and crab modes as well, because this can crab mode right along with the Terrados as it's going down the field if you want to keep it empty as you ride beside. And of course we're going to turn around because we don't want to fill up on the pipe side. They did a fantastic job with the motor sounds too. The engine sounds absolutely awesome. So let's see, it's probably access is there. So I bet you, let's see, take a stab at it right there. Let me go put the pipe out on the New Holland CR 1090. There we go. A little too far away. Just a skosh. Back under there a little bit. There we go. So that's offloading Terra onto the Terra. And then, of course, when I would offload into a trailer off-field, button 10, put my pipe out, and offload into the trailer. Now, I will, the other trailer, I'll pull up to it just to show you, because I'm thinking that you got to be careful with the trailer you select as your offload, because I think that this pipe might be kind of low. So I don't think some of the really, like the Crump trailers, I'm not thinking it's going to fit under there. So let me put this back in before I break it off. And even to test that theory, I can go into the store and grab, one of the lorry trailers. The big Crump. Oh, you're a big Crump. Okay, so yeah, there's sugar beets in there, but we get at least the height test. Now you see, that's not, that's not too far off. So yeah, let's do that. Let me pause the video real quick, and I'm gonna buy a couple of trailers, and we'll just reset them right over here to the field. Okay, so here we are. I got a few different trailers here, just because. So, works very nicely on the Fliegel. And I guess if it works on the Fliegel, it's going to work on the other two here. And let's see. Yeah, it makes the clearance. So, yeah, you can put it pretty much over any trailer we have available in the game, it looks like, which is great news. Could use it on them all. I guess it, kind of, maybe it was an optical illusion. To me, it just looked like it was a little low. So, good to know. Okay, so next, I'm going to show you the manure and the slurry/cultivator. And I, took the liberty of doing a double pass on each side of that barley so we can have an equal comparison. So I'll meet you over at the other farm. We'll fill them up, and I'll show you my little fill-up setup. All right, so see you in a second. Okay, so here we are. So my little trick here is, what I do is, because the Terra variant doesn't fit under the roof line of the cow barn, I have another conveyor inside of there, and I could just back right under there, and it'll fill up. It'll muck out the stable onto the conveyor and fill up my manure spreaders. So what I did was, I took my smaller tractor, my John Deere, and I hooked it up to a little trailer, and I would fill that up and then come out here and dump it into a placeable heap. There we go. So we'll line it up here. Now hopefully that's close enough. First time I've tried it with the variant. Yeah, it looks a little too far away. Get in a little closer. There we go. Let's try that. Jump in the old John Deere and get her fired up. Oh, excuse me, cow. All right. So band on is B. There we go. And it's... Now, let me start up. That way I can move backwards a little bit here. Get more into the pile. There we go. And then I'd have to adjust the Terra. See that yellow line? That's telling you where you need to be to fill up. There we go. So that works out quite well for me. You know, and of course, then again, you could do it the traditional way. I got the little Merlot over there with the shovel. You could muck out the barn and throw it in a pile out here. But, you know, as you see, I think this is a pretty cool little idea. You just back your trailer in here, mucks out your stable for you. I put my little Massey 698 on it. I love that little tractor. It's a good all-around yard tractor. Multi-purpose for little things. Okay, so let's get back in Terra here. Well, first, let me shut off the John Deere, because we don't want to run out of our gas here. Our diesel. Nice manly horn, too. I shouldn't say manly, because we have ladies that play this game, too. So we'll say robust. How's that? Okay. We'll put this aside for now, and we'll fill up our slurry. I think I'm going to back in. Hopefully we won't run over the cockerel over here. Mr. Rooster. Yeah. There we go. And I think it's up on the direction. I'm going to have to select the trailer. Hello. Refill slurry. Directional pad up. I'm so surprised that a big, bulky truck like this, you know, could maneuver so well through that gate. Really pleased. Good looking unit, too. Okay. He looks a little bit like Droopy Dog, that cartoon character Droopy Dog, with the ears and the face. But he's a darn good looking Droopy Dog. Okay, so there you have it. So I'm going to put these guys back on the Follow Me mod and go back to the other farm, and I will see you there in a second. See how he does going through the gate. All right, we're going to stop it here because I got to jockey some stuff around. And let's find... Oh, he went right through. Awesome. Now Control F to shut off Follow Me. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to jockey this stuff around a little bit and set them up on the field. See you in a second. Okay, so what I did was I lined them both up in the center so we can see the spread distance, and I made sure that the capacity of both the slurry and the manure spreader were 65%. So we'll see, you know, who uses what at the end of the line here. So it says to unfold the Terra variant, and that's button 5, and what that does is it puts down the little stabilizer wheels in the back. Okay, so now we're going to switch over to the trailer. And turn on our manure spreader, which is button 4. And here we go. Wow. It's got a pretty good working with. Let's get over a little bit here. Really get a good idea. Yeah. You get a good working with out of that. Okay. So, down to 28% one pass from 65. But we covered a pretty good area. Okay. Might as well drive it back down here since I got to jump on the other one. And I know I'm driving across the fertilized area. I'm being very bad, but we're not keeping this, obviously. Okay. And put on my parking brake because he's rolling away there. Go over here. Okay. So unfold the cultivator, button 5. And lower it will be 19, like most implements. And that just turns it on and engages it. Yeah, see the capacity going down, so obviously in this one you're getting the same width slurry as the cultivator because it's injecting it into the soil. So what are the advantages of both? Well, this obviously will cultivate as you're spraying your slurry. Let me just get to the end here. There we go. And we're at 56%. So, not bad. But you're not getting the same coverage. So, I mean, I use the big, giant 12-meter Lemken to do my cultivating in these fields. You know, goes right through it. So, and then to have the slurry spreader come over it afterwards, you know, if you got something with a larger working width, you know, that's going to, well, it's hard to say if it'll save you time or not, because you're doing 2 steps in one here, even though you have a smaller working width. But this one here, you know, what I would do pretty much is go with my cultivator and put him on follow me and have him spread behind me. You know, or if you have a friend, you know, invite a friend in to help you, they can, you know, fertilize behind you. So, yeah. Not bad. Let's see. So, yeah, we only got 28% of the manure. So you're going to go through manure, you know, quite a bit faster. So even though you're getting a larger working width, you're going to have to go and refill a lot more. So my suggestion is if you want to use the manure, here's a little idea. Harkening back to my little conveyor belt trick, you know, you put, you know, bring over some loads of manure and put them in placeable heaps out here, you know, or, you know, field side if you got enough room field side with the conveyor. And then when he runs out, come off field, pull over here, fill up, and go right back to what you were doing. And you don't have to, you know, worry about it taking forever, you know, getting out the wheel loader and loading it in there manually. Just put it in placeable heaps and pull off field. And you can, you know, set up the heaps ahead of time. And then, you know, as you're going through the course of your farming days, every time you muck out the barns, you know, bring it over here. You know, you don't have to do it just before you're going to fertilize, obviously. I'm telling you something you already know. So I hope I've covered everything here and answered some questions that you maybe have wondering about. If I did miss something, or if you would like me to go over something in more detail or find out something for you, whatever, let me know down in the comment section, and I'm happy to help you out. So, again, thank you very much for spending the time with me. I look forward to seeing you again, and hope you have a great night. Take care, and bye for now.